Hello, sweet ones, and welcome to this week's episode of Embodied Divinity. It's so great to be here with you, and I hope you've had an incredible month as we have sunk into these new energies of May. And even if you haven't, this is the place for you to be today because today I feel called to kind of, I guess, debunk some ideas and concepts that float around in the spiritual community regarding manifestation and miracle creation and really just living your best life. Take some big deep breaths with me and let's just really sink into even just the title of my podcast and the work that I do, Embodied Divinity. It means we are here in our bodies, knowing that our soul is here in our bodies having this human experience. A lot of people in the spiritual community love to float around in the sky. They haven't done the work on their bottom three chakras, which is what I do in my mentorship program. We go through each of the seven chakras that are really relevant to our human experience here on earth. We start at the root chakra and we go up to the seventh chakra over 6 months together. And I do this because in order to be embodied here now in your divinity, you have to do the work to realize and own that physical part of this experience. And it's not all roses and butterflies. It is hard and it is dark and it can be painful. And I think when we have all of the ideas floating around in the spiritual community that we sometimes do about like thoughts creating reality and if you think it, you're going to see it and all of these things, we misconstrue a lot of the human experience and we end up bypassing a lot of some of the most beautiful and intimate and soul stretching parts of the human experience. So I want you to know that regardless of the things that are going through your brain and the things that you are feeling right now, you are still worthy. You can still create powerful creations and manifestations. And it's all about the way that you believe. So thoughts are different than beliefs. Okay. The universe operates based on the intentions of your heart. The ego and mind like to implant a lot of random thoughts. And for me, especially, I was diagnosed in the Western world with OCD, which means and it's better now that I've done a lot of mindset work, but especially like growing up and through my 20s and when I was healing through trauma, I had like crazy intrusive thoughts, like just crazy intrusive thoughts. And it really kind of fucked me up as I got deeper into the spiritual community online when there was a lot of non-trauma informed teachers and mentors and things because they would constantly tell me that my thoughts create my reality. And here I am with these random thoughts. It didn't matter how great I was feeling. I could be having the best day of my life and a random intrusive thought would come. And I won't even repeat them because they just bug me at this point. But a random intrusive thought would come and then I would immediately try to get rid of that thought, get rid of that thought, get rid of that thought, because I don't want to create that in my reality. And you know what I was doing by just trying to get rid of that thought and focusing on getting rid of that thought? I would make that thought more powerful. When all along the universe knew and has always known the intentions and purity of my heart. So all of these intrusive thoughts that would pop up that were rooted in trauma and all of these other things that were not who I truly am, which is the frequency of love. They would pop up, and what they would do was because I would focus on getting rid of them or resisting them, they would distract me from my true intentions and my beingness. It's when I learned how to just let it be there. Ah, here's another intrusive thought again. I wonder what you're doing here, and really just paying no attention to it they would go away. And even now, if I have a random intrusive thought come up, I'm just like, oh, hey, I'm not sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm going to create this, because I know the universe is so aware of my intentions. Some of my most amazing creations, even the inner child oracle cards, some of the most powerful meditations I've ever created, some of the most amazing resonant pieces of work I've written have come from me being in periods of darkness and grief, in sorrow. And it's because I was able to have those experiences without attaching weight to them that I could create powerful things to them. Feeling grief is only going to create more grief if you're sitting there asking to create more of this grief. If you're sitting there just feeling it, honoring it as a human experience, if you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling grief. Grief is so bad. I have to feel better. I have to feel more positive. Otherwise, I'm going to fuck up all my manifestations. Then that's what you're going to create. But if you're just like, oh man, this grief is so beautiful, it's part of this human experience. This grief is showing me how much I love this person. Then you're going to feel and experience that grief, and your soul is going to evolve, and you're going to continue to create miracles all along the way. It's the same thing with sadness, depression, darkness, all of these things. It's the weight that we attach to them and the ways that we tell ourselves that we're going to create bad or harmful things from them. That's the kind of thinking that you want to rewire, that you want to reprogram, but not these powerful, beautiful, dark, painful, sorrowful, amazing, magnificent experiences that we have here on earth. That, my friend, is all a part of the human experience. That is embodied divinity. Your soul knows it came here to experience this vast array of emotions. And when we get to just experience them without attaching all those heady labels and all those projections that create suffering within us, then we get to have this beautiful experience. And notice I said suffering. So grief, sorrow, pain, heartbreak, these do not have to be moments of suffering. The only time we suffer is when we perceive our separation. Notice again, I say perceive. We are never ever separate from source. We are source. We are love. When we perceive our separation from source, God, universe, love, we create suffering. And man, and I don't mean like masculine, I mean just like mankind has created so many ideas that create that perception of suffering. We see it in the Bible, we see it in laws, we see it in social media, we see it in those things called sins, where they say, if you do this, you are not worthy of God's love. False. If you behave this way, you are not worthy. If you think these thoughts, you are not worthy. None of those things are true. These were made by society to keep you out of your power. There is never a need to suffer or feel separate from God, no matter what you're doing or experiencing. That love is always there because it is within you. It is only your perception of separation that is keeping you in the feeling of disconnection from all of the miracles always available to you, because you are always worthy. And you manifest even in some of your darkest times because you know that even in your darkest times, you are worthy, you are loved, you are held. Every moment here on earth is a divine experience. You only bring shame and judgment to it when you do so through the psyche that's been blinded by all of these societal provisions and expectations and judgments. We've got to get away from the thinking of good, bad, right, or wrong, and just know that what is here right now is true and perfect. If you are experiencing right now in May, when so many people are talking about positivity and new life coming and miracles and manifestation, and you are just in bed, like feeling lethargic and lazy and not wanting to move, you are still worthy of creating all of those things everyone else is talking about. It's only your projection or perception of what that looks like. Can you, in this moment right now, whether you're feeling giddy and gung ho or sad and lethargic, can you right now say, where I am right here, right now is perfect? God, source, universe, love is flowing through me. It is what I am. It is how I am. It is who I am. And in this moment right now, I am having this beautiful human experience, and I am still and always worthy of love, magicals, miracles, magnificent creations. It's all through your perception. I talked about this a while ago, but I'm going to say it again. It's everything we attach a weight to. If you and I'm not giving my opinion on anything here. I'm just giving this an example. But if you, for example, see doing any sort of plant medicine as a sin, which some certain organizations and religions do, if you see that as a sin, then the first time you choose to partake, or if you see someone else partake, you're going to immediately label that bad. You're going to create a judgment. So if it is you and you're like, "Oh, I've seen this as bad my whole life. I've seen this as a sin my whole life, but I'm feeling rebellious, so I'm going to do this," and you do that, you're going to create shame within you. Not because the plant medicine is a frequency of negativity or badness, but because you perceive it that way, and that's what you're creating. If you perceive your grief as bad and you tell yourself that that grief is going to create terrible experiences for you, then it will. But if you see your grief as just a beautiful human experience, then that's what it will be. If there's a difference between belief and perception and thoughts and feelings. Like I said again and again in this episode, the universe knows the intentions of your heart. If you are like me and you have those intrusive thoughts, don't pay any attention to them. Let them be there. Don't resist them. Let it just be an intrusive thought. And a lot of my intrusive thoughts were about like my kids and my family members and just like really scary things happening that would cause me heartbreak. So I'd be having one of my happiest days and then I would get this intrusive thought of something terrible happening. And so instead of resisting it, like I said, I'd let it be there. But then later on, as I got more comfortable with letting it be there, I also let it move me into deeper love. So I would just get to experience the most profound love and really love my kids, my parents, my friends, my connections, like I might never have this opportunity again. Not from fear, but from love of wanting to so deeply be in this experience with them. And it turned into this beautiful creation. But you've got to find a way to get whatever it is, whether it's intrusive thoughts, whether it's hard feelings towards another, whatever it might be that you are feeling like you can't create miracles and manifestations from. Take away all of the weight that you're giving to that thing. Stop investing so much energy into it and just let it be what it is, another human experience that doesn't have to mean so much. It's this beautiful balance between living life to its fullest, but not attaching such deep meaning to every thought that moves through our mind. Instead, moving from the intentions within our heart, really owning and honoring that pure love that's always available to you, even in some of your hardest moments, really owning that deep, powerful connection with Source that is always within you because it is a part of you. Knowing you are always worthy in any circumstance, in any experience, in any thought pattern. And when you can move forward from that knowing, it doesn't matter the random thoughts that come in your head. It doesn't matter the moments of darkness or pain you experience, you're still going to keep attracting and creating miracles. A lot of people are like so confused by how so many people can create massive wealth when maybe they're having hard thoughts, or they're feeling like in their dark times, or they're not having all of these positive mindsets, and it's because they're not resisting the flow of wealth and money. They're aligned with that frequency of miracles, of manifestation, of receiving. It's the way that they perceive wealth coming to them, and the way they truly feel it in their body, regardless of the human experience they're having, that allows that flow to continue. And so it's not tricking or gaslighting yourself when you constantly are telling yourself your abundance, when you're even in your grief and your pain, your sorrow, when you're still feeling abundant, when you're still feeling wealthy. You're not bypassing or moving out of that sensation. You're just knowing that they can both exist simultaneously, both joy and sorrow, both abundance and lethargy, whatever it might be. All of these different creations can exist simultaneously. It's if you can allow yourself to perceive and really believe that. And so, more than anything else, more than trying to control your mind, more than trying to control your thoughts, just let them be. Stop attaching so much weight to them, investing so much in them, and instead start investing in the human experience. You already know you're a divine spiritual being. You already know you're here having this human experience. So invest in that. Invest in that with everything you do. And you're going to see the most amazing miracles come out of every single moment. Stop trying to gaslight yourself. Stop trying to change the trajectory of your thoughts, and instead change the weight that you give them. Move forward from your heart in love, knowing you are source incarnate. That is how we create more of what we desire. I know there's a lot here, so feel free to comment below wherever you listen to this. And if you have questions or insights or experiences with that, I'd love to hear it. I'm so freaking proud of you. And stay tuned for Friday's meditation, where we are really going to activate this knowing within us. I love you guys. Breathe deep and plan on miracles. And if you're interested in the Embodied Divinity mentorship program I talked about at the beginning, just check out any of my links below this, or email info@nikylamariah.com to find out more. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day.